welcome back to another episode of We Making It Woo! Okay, in the last episode, I totally forgot, so I did it at the end, but this episode I remember. So we're going to give a big, huge shout out to Mike Brun and Kahu Verma. That's at Mike_Brun on Instagram, and that's What Is a Kahu, Kuhoo. That is the composer and vocalist on my theme song. All of the guests and all of the beautiful people in the world love that song, and so I always want to shout them out, just saying thank you for just being so great, and the song is so good. Let's get right into it. So what am I reading, guys? I'm just having a really hard time with Homie Don't Play That. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm still working on it. I promise I'm going to finish it this month because I really have another book that I'm trying to read. But yeah, for those of you who haven't listened, Homie Don't Play That is a story of In Living Color by David Peisner. David, if you listen to this podcast, thanks for listening, but also sorry if I say your name wrong. I'm also reading You're a Badass by that woman who's really, really famous. I don't know her name, and I'm really sorry. I'm going to remember for the next episode, I swear. And then I'm also reading In the Company of Women. Like I say all the time, guys, just get the book. It's so good. It's so pretty. We have some very special guests. What happened last night? So I am post-dating. Like when you post-date a check, you're not supposed to cash it until the date. I'm pre-recording these episodes because let me tell y'all, these guests are just a little difficult, especially when you have two of them. But more on that in just a second. So what happened last night? Oh my gosh. I was here all day editing yesterday, and sorry, Brick, because I know I'm not supposed to, but I got caught eating in the media lab. Okay, really quickly, I just want to say that it wasn't like I was eating soup or pasta or anything messy. I was eating like a freaking Cliff Bar and an apple. And I was trying to be so low-key, like nibble close to my backpack and then throw it back in there. And I got caught twice. So after I finished editing and I was starving, I just went home and I watched, what did I watch? Oh my gosh. I watched the Whitney Houston documentary on Showtime. Guys, if you haven't seen that, I'm totally going to do an episode. It'll be like a really small episode, but I'm going to do an episode on that. So that's what happened last night. I was really, really hungry, and Emily got home late. And so I was kind of bored or lonely, depending on how you look at it. So that's what happened last night. If you want to be a part of the conversation, be sure to email me at Katie, that's Kadie, smiles, because my smile is very cute, .nyc, because that's where we at. And now, guys, can you introduce yourselves?
Hello. Hi, my name is Michael.
Hi, my name is Steven.
Whoa! Malcolm and Steven are in the building!
We are here.
Hey, girl.
Yes.
Guys, I haven't actually said this on any episode. Couples are really hard to program. So I don't know if you guys know, but back in January, I was thinking about Valentine's Day, and I thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so cool to just like talk to couples like all throughout the month of February and talk about how their creative things kind of happen because their partner's there to help support them.
Right.
And shout out to Emily, as always, because she was like, oh, babe, that sounds great. Me being like, oh my gosh, babe, don't you think that's such a great idea?
Like, yes,
I'm like all in there. She's like, yeah, that's great. Not like, she's so great, y'all, because she always is. I'm like on 60, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. She's like, yeah.
Support.
Go do it. And so I got you guys. So first question's always the same. What are you guys both currently making together and apart?
Well, you want to take that?
Yeah, right now we're working on a sound score for a show that I'm curating called The Lab.
Oh.
It's happening in June with a couple of other artists in Jersey City.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what we're working on right now. Amongst a lot of other things. He does a lot of video production for me. Like he made my website for me. So yeah, he's always there, like holding me down when it comes to, hey, can you fix this? Can you fix this while I'm at work, please? Like, can you edit this small change? Like, please, like. So
Please,
yeah.
please.
Yeah. The lab is coming up. It's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be a lot of awesome artists he's curating. He's getting artists from all over that we really, really like. That they're gonna blow that venue out. And it's gonna be great. Yeah. And then you said separate and together.
Yes. Tell me both.
Oh, okay. So separately, he kind of touched on it, but I'm currently I have a media company called Malcolm Adom.
Yeah.
And Malcolm Adom, we make websites, videos, creative, or commercial, whatever you need.
Yeah.
And then we edit as well. So if you wanted me, can you edit this for me? I want to do this little thing, or edit this sound. Like I've done a lot of his sound scores. That's one thing. We've been working together for a while, so it's kind of hard to answer.
That's what I love to hear, guys.
Yeah. Like usually whenever he creates a work, I'll make the sound score, or if he wants like a visual, I'll make a visual.
The reason why that's like so important to me, because finding somebody to make your sound score is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Finding somebody to do your website is expensive. So like this like partnership has been like not just like, it's been a blessing, like especially as far as my art.
Totally.
And Malcolm Adom is really, really, really it reaches out to the arts community. It gives you art rates, which like you're paying for. That was the whole like whole point of like the whole Malcolm Adom thing. I was like, babe, why don't you make something for us?
The artists, especially the artists that are on a budget. And that kind of that pricing thing came about Halloween. I don't know if you remember, but on Halloween we wanted to get like professional makeup.
Oh my gosh, you guys were so cute on Halloween.
Oh, you saw that?
Guys, if you don't, I don't even know if you guys archived it, but they were the Clovers.
Oh my God.
The East Compton Clovers.
Yes, go Clovers. We did the cheer and everything. But we do Halloween for real.
Down.
And when we did down. So when we did Halloween 2 years ago, we were like dead astronauts, and like we did this whole makeup thing. And it was hard to find a professional makeup artist at a decent rate. They wanted to charge us crazy money, and then we were like, why is it so hard to find like an artist rate? So when I did Malcolm Adom, I was like, it needs to be affordable, where I can like at least profit a little, but it's accessible. So that was important.
Which we'll definitely have to do another episode on. But I don't know, I'm torn because I've actually like I've needed a service or two, and somebody's been like, this is my rate, and I'm like, oh, I can't afford you, so I can't pay you.
Right.
But I don't want you to feel like, obviously, like, I know that your work is worth the price that you put it there, so, like, I don't want you to feel disrespected if I say I can't afford you, and I don't want to ask you for a cheaper rate, because I want you to know that I value your time. But I do think there's a way for artists to be compensated fairly from the people that can afford it, but also then be able to funnel that back.
Exactly. It should be a sliding scale. Always.
Oh, even if it's a trade-off.
Right. Even that's fine
that
too.
works for me.
So we'll definitely talk about that more. But let's get to the mushy stuff. How did you meet? This is the moment of silence.
Actually,
Guys, if you listen to every episode with the couples, they all have that like. So who wants to do this?
Actually, he was my big. I transferred. I used to go to Long Island, in Brooklyn, LIU in Brooklyn, and then I transferred to Montclair State.
That's right.
And
shout out to Montclair State.
Yeah, shout out to Montclair State. Yes.
Okay. Jersey.
But
anyway.
But yeah, he was my big, and I was in his. He asked me to be in his piece. And
he stalked me to be in. I'm just kidding.
Did you?
No.
We've had some stalking.
No, that's a joke. Not actual stuff. I meant he was just like, oh, you're making a piece? Well, I want to come to your rehearsal. I was like, yeah, come to my rehearsal. And he was amazing. So I was like, you need to.
Steven.
Right. From the beginning, always like, I want to do this. I'm new to this school. I'm going to get in this.
Yeah, it was like, and I don't know, like, I think it was like it was a small cast. It was like four of us. It was like 2 males, both of us, and then 2 other females.
2 girls.
But after rehearsal, we would just chill. Like we would have long talks after rehearsal about the piece, just about dance. Like we just
talk a lot.
And I was a transfer, and I think he was a junior. I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
So like I didn't know anybody on campus like that. So like. It was just great. Like he used to show me on like the rooftops of Bone, like all these discreet places that we couldn't go to.
But
sorry,
yeah, yeah, and like I don't know. I think that night we was just hitting it off. We was just talking, and we was just flirting, and then we would see each other in class, and it would just be like, hey, what's up? Like, it was never like I feel like we definitely did build a friendship before it was any type of relationship.
Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, it was never like, oh, like I want to date, I want to talk. It wasn't like that.
It was like friendship before.
I like this person.
Yeah, I like spending time with this person. Like, he's pretty chill. Like, he sees the same point of views as I see in dance, and not even that, just in the world in general. And I thought that was just like, it's really hard for people to captivate your mind. Like, you can sometimes spend time with a person and literally be thinking about something else, but it takes a lot to just spend time and be there in that moment.
Yeah.
So, that's what I think it was for me. Just being able, because I don't know, like, it probably was a different experience for you.
Which
like,
we have time to talk about. What was that different?
Yeah, what was that?
experience?
What was that for you? Like,
I mean, similar, but yeah, I felt very similarly. I mean, I felt like when I met Steven, I never met anybody that thought like Steven. Okay. And that intrigued me because I met a lot of people that, I don't know, I was a very different person, and I met folks that, oh, yeah, you're cute, you're cool, whatever. But when I met Steven, it was like, he really thinks a lot. And he has an interesting point of view. And I don't know why I feel comfortable. And it was just like, it was a comfort and an interest. And I just found myself always wanting to talk to him.
Yeah, and I think we were all, I feel like at that time, like, you know how when you're in college, you're really just trying to figure shit out. Like, I felt like we were in the moment of transition. So it was never like, well, this is wrong and this is right and this is how this should be in the puzzle. It was never like that. It was like, hey, you want to go get lit? Like, like it's Friday night. Like, you want to go like take class, like
stretch.
Yeah. Like, it was just like, together. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, now that we're out of college, it's like you have work, you have this, your life is so structured. I felt like in college, it was just like, let's go with the flow. Let's figure it out. Like, whatever. We were
very fortunate. Because we met in college. Like you said, in college, you have that little network and you can just really date and get to know a person.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's probably harder after where you're so busy. Yeah. It's like,
it's different. It's just different.
So,
it's different.
It's better or worse, but it's definitely different.
Yeah, not a judgment, but different.
Yeah. So, but okay. So when you guys were talking, getting to know each other, were there ever any moments where you were like, damn, like I would love to work with this person on something else? Because it's super interesting that you guys actually connected, working together
from the beginning. Oh yeah.
Were there more moments of like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that too.
No, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead. What did you? Go ahead.
I think that we've always been different.
Yeah.
We have we both love dance. We both love creating and working on things. But I'm very much more of a computer techie behind the scenes. As I love to perform, obviously, but like I like to do that part, the media portion. He's always liked to do the visual, the conceptual part. Like I want these dancers to do this in this location, and you know, it's just a different.
It's a different lens.
Different lenses, exactly, and so we work pretty well together.
Yeah, and I also think that during that time, I felt as though that we were also in pieces together.
Oh yeah.
So I felt as though that like even though we wanted to do our work with each other, we also were working with other choreographers who had a different vision for their own work.
Right.
He was also in other pieces that I wasn't in, which was great because it was like when I did see him. When I did see him, I was like, yo, what's up? Like, you know, it was just like a different type of energy.
And we could cheer for each other. Like, oh, you did really well.
In this piece.
In this piece.
Yeah. Or we would be like, oh, that was not the team.
That was
like,
a
you
mess.
were not on your leg.
Very bluntly.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
And then I think I asked him, like, right after that year, like, I did a piece called Margin, and then I asked him to be in the piece, and it was like two females. It was a trio. It was two females and a male, and like, that was a little bit difficult. You know, that was a little bit.
Why did you ask him? Because there were obviously other guys in the.
Yeah, I asked him just because I felt as though like his brain was just not. It wasn't just structured around the technique part of it. It was also structured around like explorative. It wasn't like I'm just gonna do this plie, passe, plie, tendu, pas de bourrée. It wasn't, and that wasn't like the style that I was going for. I was really trying to like figure out my own voice, and I felt as though when you're dancing with such structure, it just puts you in so many boundaries, and like that just wasn't That wasn't what I was like looking for at the time.
So did you find that him being there maybe gave you a sense of freedom?
It gave me a sense of freedom, but it also gave me a sense of you need to be on your shit because like you have somebody else, and
because it gave you also a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, and like I felt like he was also like looking at me like, so what you about to pull out? Like, and I also felt as though,
but shut up, like, but
yeah.
What's
and that's
the step?
Yeah, like,
yeah.
And that, I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong, it was hard because I'm in rehearsal. Like, when I'm in rehearsal, I'm like, I'm like,
no joke.
I mean, not that. Like, I just feel like I'm just like, yo, like, can we do this thing like this, you know? And then like outside of rehearsal, I'm like, yo, what's up? Let's go to the bar. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're clear. When you're where you are where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there.
Very much
exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Very clear. And
very
cut.
clear.
So, but you guys, I feel like y'all are okay. So let me kind of speed up and then go backwards.
Okay.
So then, what made you decide to take the friendship to a relationship?
Well, it was kind of all simultaneous, really. It was like we were friends, but it was never decided like, oh, we are friends. It was kind of like we liked each other. We connected very early on, and we spent a lot of time together. And then eventually, I think we went to see like the Vagina Monologues or something. We were going to go that day. Do you remember that? We were going to go see the Vagina Monologues. It was like in springtime, and we had been talking for like a year or something like that. And I think I asked Steven, like, you know, do you want to just make this like a thing? Like, do you want to keep like officially do this? Because we spent all this time anyway.
No, he's not telling the truth.
I'm not telling the truth.
Like, he's not telling you the truth.
Wait, is that not what happened?
No. Like,
no. Did you ask
What happened was I was crushing on him for a really long time.
Oh,
like,
so
I was crushing on Malcolm.
Did I not just ask them guys? Like,
this is the real tea.
He's like, I'm listening.
I was crushing on...
When did this crush happen? Did this crush happen when he asked you to be... Was that why you asked? Is this why you got...
No. Like, prior to me asking him to be in the piece, I just was like, I want to get in student work. Because I was already in like, you know, faculty work. Stuff. But I was like, I want to get into student work because those are two different shows.
Right.
So prior to being in his piece, like, the piece was great. Like, I wasn't like really looking at him like that. I was just like, this is my friend. Like, this is...
When did you start looking at him in that way?
We went to see... I asked him out on a date. We went to go see Insidious.
Oh my God, that's true.
I asked him out on a date, and we went to go see
Insidious
2. And I was just
that's so true.
Really captivated by him. I was nervous.
You were captivated by him in a scary movie?
We love horror.
We love horror.
So
but
it's the Halloween thing.
It was more of like just the journey of like getting off campus. Like, I'm about to go do something outside of school. We're not about to do homework. Like,
right. We're not talking like we always do. We're seeing a movie together.
And we were through that time. I feel like we were dating for a really long. We were dating, but we weren't together. We were just like filling each other out.
Right, getting to know each other.
Like, I wouldn't stay at his dorm. Sometimes he wouldn't stay at my dorms because we always needed space. Yes. And then, like, after a couple of months, he was like, "Yo, I don't think, I think I just want to do my own thing." Da, 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 da.
Oh,
and
that did happen.
He was like, "I think I want to do my own thing," and I fell back. I was like, "All right, cool." Like,
I
felt all the way back,
like tumbled, like in the breeze.
Because you know how when somebody says like, "Yo, like I need space," you're like, "All right."
He was gone.
I'm gonna show
I'm
you.
out.
You think you need space? I can find
he
space.
Erased
for you.
himself.
Yeah, like
from my
so
life.
we did that whole space.
Did you want to? Okay, so let me break some stuff down. Did you want to give him that much space, or were you just kind of your feelings was kind of hurt, and you just was like, "Oh, okay, I can."
Well, my
you.
feelings was kind of hurt, but also it was just like, all right, like that's how you moving. Like, is this really how we're about to move? Okay, like this is what you want.
So you got petty.
Yeah, I got petty. It was a little bit of petty, a little bit of me being in my feelings, and also a little bit of me being like, you know what, Steven?
That's valid.
It's just a hair flip. It's cool.
I mean, I don't think he's being all the way. I think he knew that if I walk away, you're gonna miss me. I really think that you knew.
Well,
that.
Yeah,
because I did miss him.
It also sounds like he missed you too.
No, but I'm saying the minute when I said that, I thought we were gonna still be friends though. Like, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna do my own thing as a relation. Like, that's not date, but I did not want to be his friend. You know.
Okay.
So when he fell back, I was like, okay, but
I think that's a DC thing though for me because I'm from I'm DMV, so we're just really like blunt. Like it's like
I don't think
you
that's
want to fall.
DMV. I don't think that's because I'm from Texas and I falls. I
Oh.
tumbles. I goes.
Oh, okay.
You know what
Oh,
I'm
so
talking
you
like,
be out? Bye. Yeah, exactly.
I
It's just
will totally beat you.
even
to
if you
the punch.
Yeah,
are,
she did.
even if
Yeah,
you
he
do
did.
miss that person, it's like you don't want to talk to me and like,
Oh,
bruh,
why would I?
Exactly.
Why would I show you that I miss you when you ended this?
Exactly.
You're giving me a reason to be petty.
Yeah.
See, pull up.
So no, it worked very effectively, because for like a good month he acted like I didn't go to the same school, like he didn't know my name, that my phone number changed, he was a new person all of a sudden. I'd be like, hey, he'd be like, hi, like he was just real short and real distant.
Hi, bye.
Bye.
And
Right.
I remember I was so bothered. I was like, why don't you talk to me? I had to ask him.
Yes,
like,
what happened?
Why you don't talk to me no more? And he said, I'm just doing me.
Because you doing
'Cause you
you.
cut me
Yeah,
off.
he said you doing me, so I'm doing you. I'm doing I'm doing me. I'm chilling. So I was like, okay, well, I would like to talk to you. Like, I want to talk to you.
And then I think a couple of months later, then that's when we went to Vagina Monologues.
Then we went,
And then
yeah,
that
yes,
night,
that, see,
that's
I
when we
wasn't
made it
lying,
official.
but
You
see,
just
I
had to
had to like mush
I had
it all.
to like get that together real quick.
He was like, let's set the record straight.
Yeah.
So that is what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's a really good segue because I definitely want to talk about moments of adversity when you work together.
Okay.
But I also want to talk about when you discovered that you could lean on each other for creative pursuits and what that kind of was like. Like you, based on the relationship that you both have described, it wasn't like you knew, for example, he was going to make your website or he knew you knew he was going to make your sound square. So when did those moments of like, damn,
You can take that one.
I'll take that one.
like, damn, like we could build something.
Totally.
When was that, or what was that like?
It started kind of like project to project, right? So initially, he was in my piece. That's kind of how we met. So
Yeah.
we already are working together. We were in pieces together, like he mentioned before. So we knew that we could work together and we would talk about everything. Like, obviously you just got to lift her up like this. You got to do this. So we thought kind of similarly.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was like, yo, I really need a website. I make my website and I show him like every
Yeah.
step of the way. Look at this page. And he's like, oh, this could be like this. So he started to give me feedback and I'm like, oh, I like the way you think. So then I started to notice you have a really great eye. He has a wonderful eye. Like Steven has an eye like for anything visual. He has a great vision of colors and fashion sense. He has a lot of, he has a great eye. And so I noticed that when I started to do my website.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, why don't you make me a website? And I was like, sure, I would love to make you a website. Because it gave me an opportunity to practice my skills.
Yeah.
And I love Steven, so I want to do that. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm making his website, and then it's every time I do something with him or he does something for me, it's a collaboration. It's like we are sharing our thoughts, and it just kind of naturally works. And like it's not perfect. I know you said you're gonna ask about adversity.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't agree. Sometimes feelings get hurt. Whatever. But at the end of the day, we know.
Sometimes I would shut that shit down, but sometimes he would shut my
Sometimes
shit
I
down
shut his
too.
shit down.
Yeah, like-
No. Like, you know what? Cut that shit out. Like, we got a deadline, and we realize that we're trying to make each other elevate. That's
Yeah.
always the goal. So, yeah, we might be pissy that day,
Yeah.
but I know, I'm trying to make your shit pop.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make my shit pop. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Do you
Also, like I
Go
feel
for
as
it.
though I really needed help with my because I would apply for dance applications and stuff like
Oh,
that, and
yeah.
I would really say,
this would be like choreography stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I would say, hey, I really need help with this video because,
That's
and like when
really
you're
good
doing a
application.
choreography, like they're like, no jump cuts.
Yeah.
They want rehearsal footage, and I would be like, I would look at my footage and I would know which clips I wanted, but I wouldn't know like, okay, how am I going to edit this clip? Da-da-da-da. And like,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, we had a film class, but I had an HP
Yeah.
and he had a Mac. And like, I mean, it makes a difference
does
in
make
the
a
sense of
difference.
like
Depends-
working with
depends on
Final Cut. Like,
yeah,
you get what I'm
depends on
saying?
what you're used to, and also his skill level. Like Malcolm's skill level is probably higher than yours because he'd be on a program more than you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's
Even
just
though I
different.
took a class for it, I would come back. He would be like, "Yo, this is how you do this quicker. You can patch."
Yeah.
He
Push this, do
already
this,
got
do
the
this,
he
do this.
already
Yeah,
got
the
the
codes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He know what he doing.
Yeah.
we just looked it up. We just went to class.
Right.
He actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would, and then I would that really, like, that's how we started. I would be like, yo, can you make a video of this? Can you make a video of that? Like, I need these videos like soon because I'm doing the paperwork part of it and you're doing the media part of it.
Right.
Like, let's get on the road with that.
We make a great pack. Yeah, it worked. It worked. And he really, like, I feel like working together, we grew in whatever we did know. Because I learned how to make he used to be like, why is this taking so long? I'd be like, bruh. Like, so I learned how to go faster.
I would say that because it's like, you know, when you're sitting in front of somebody working with a client or something like that.
Yeah, that's
like,
not okay.
Yo, like, you need to move faster.
Yeah. Time is money.
Well. I think that there's something about our training that like lends itself to be a bit harsh. Like when we take ballet classes, I don't remember. Shout out to Diane Bedford. Hi, Diane. Please listen to the podcast. Diane was my ballet teacher in college. Hi, Diane. Or even like my modern teachers, because this is not even a ballet thing. But I do think there's a rigidity in dance training that spills over into our personal lives. Wouldn't you agree that like you're not on your leg? You should be on your leg. Why aren't you on your leg at 12:02?
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's 12.
Right.
Like, why are you not? You should already be. You should have can't walk into this room. And the same thing happened. You trying to make a masterpiece, and it takes time.
No,
and he's like, and it's and the time's over now.
Like my deadline's tonight.
Right, midnight, and it's 11:58, and you're like, oh wait, what do I click? No. So I totally get what you're saying. It's not that I'm saying he would catch me when I was slipping because he wanted me to be able to work with anybody. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was like,
your skill level needs to always be up.
Yeah, like your skill level needs to be up just because if you're going to do this Malcolm Adams thing, like if you're really about to sit out here and sell this,
I
need you to
be
right.
Yeah, and I feel as though that me as an artist, as a choreographer, and him as an artist, I know how that is. Like I'm paying you, I need it now because my application is soon, girl.
Right.
And like,
nobody wants to feel like you are figuring it out. They want you to just produce.
Right. And I also think that echoes the kind of partnership that you've created that like before I let you go, and I remember being like this with my mom. My mom would be like, before I let you go out there looking jank,
exactly,
I'm going to kick your ass.
Right. Yeah.
So that the only person that see you looking jank is
me. Right. You be mad at me, but then the world is like, oh, he's this and that. Yeah.
But only because I don't know. And I think I'm curious about to how you've been able to cultivate that, because you're not in college anymore, but like how you've been able to cultivate this sense of care and compassion as you work together, because obviously in how that care and compassion maybe carries you through the moments of adversity, because they seem very clear, but also the care and compassion is there. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, when
it's in there
because I'm about to get like real deep, but when I'm creating work, like when I'm setting a new work, I probably like really get on his nerves, but I talk about the piece until I go to sleep. Like I talk about the piece until I wake up in the morning. I talk about the dancers. I talk about the music. I talk about the set. I talk about the lights. I talk about the costume. I'm really like
the space and everything.
Even when sometimes like even when we're having a conversation, what are we talking about? So what do you want to eat for dinner? This food was good. I can have a brain where I'm talking to you, but I can also have a brain where I'm thinking about something else. And I feel as though that like
I've learned
when I was creating, I would get really emotional, like because most of my work is about
something that's personal.
Super personal to me. Yeah. And I would go through like emotions, like waves of emotions. Like I'm crying, I'm upset. Like he'll be like, "Why are you mad talking about this?" And I'll be like, "Because this shit is like this." You know what I'm saying?
And, passion.
And like I feel as though that like even like me, he's like, "Why are you?" I'm crying, but I'm still like writing out my notes. Like I'm like upset at trying to explain it because I feel as though I really want it to be emotional to the eye. Like I don't want it to just be like I'm sitting here looking at a piece in this theater watching this piece that like all these pieces for an hour. Because you know how people that are not dancers, they they
can be
conceptualize
triggered, so they can be
differently.
triggered by emotions. a
Yeah,
bit
like
differently.
your mom or like your cousin, like you're
Yeah.
like, hey mom, can you come to my show? And they're like, yeah, I want to come to your show to see some people jump, do a little leg, do a little twirl, but it's not all about the twirl, the leg, the jump. Like,
Yeah,
No.
and I really,
it's a bit different.
so I really want them to, if I'm talking about like, if I'm talking about birth or I'm talking about like something scary or like something like death or something within my work,
yeah,
I feel as though I really want you to be able to understand that while looking at my work and not being an artist, because everybody can understand death, everybody can understand excitement. So I feel like me as a choreographer, I feel like it's my job to like really go there,
right.
and I feel like he's always there while I'm like going there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Like,
I go
and
through
when-
these things
He's
too,
probably
right there.
like
Even when-
voluntarily or involuntarily, I'm
Yes,
there.
I'm here.
And when we're making the music, it gets really crazy because I'm like sitting here. I'm dancing. I'm up dancing, like doing the like timing of the thing, like in the studio. Because I've even asked him, "Can you come to my rehearsal? I need you to cut in
Yeah,
rehearsal."
most times.
Like I need you to sit there, cut while I'm choreographing this piece, so that this cut really matches like this work.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it gets crazy. Sometimes we have moments where like it's just like boom, you got it, boom, great, you're amazing. And then there's some
and it's
times where
mutual.
I'm just like, oh my God. Like the timing, I need you to get it on the and. You get what I'm saying?
On the end. Is that the end? Do you hear it? That's not it.
Yes,
Do you need me to
yes.
slow
Like,
it down? What is it? Like
sometimes
yes.
I'm even like, making, like we're sitting on the couch and I'm doing a gesture phrase and I'm teaching him it so that he can understand this needs to be like tick, tick, boom, tick, tock. Like it needs to like
It needs
sell
to
in that
move
way
the
because
way
that's
that
the
you
way I'm
move.
teaching it
Yeah.
to the dancers. And I feel like if I'm teaching it to the dancers and the music is different, it's like, well, then what did we even do just now? It's like we
Right.
didn't.
Yeah.
So that is like,
He's with you.
yeah. And even when it came to my website, like even when it came to I did a photo shoot, like when it came to the photo shoot, I was like, this photographer is a photographer. That's what they do. I'm a dancer. I need you. Like, I know what the line is. I know what this shape is, but I feel as though that I really want it to go over the top. So I'm going to get you to sit in the room so that you can be that extra edit. And if my foot isn't winged, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If my face is giving like girl face or like bitch face, let me know. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I can be on it.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of like, that's the emotional process for me.
Yeah.
And even when it's like show day, and I'm not even talking about when I'm choreographing, even when it's like I'm dancing in other people's work, like, and it's show day, because I used to get really, really nervous before hitting the stage.
Yeah.
Like I used to get like really like, in
Yeah.
college, I used to be like breathing like really like I had to really like calm it down.
Like, it's okay.
So-
And he's beautiful, but he just got nervous.
Everybody
Yeah.
So now it's like on show day when I'm showing my work or I'm dancing for somebody else, I'm still texting him like, yo, just come and like stand by me. Like just stand there so I can feel the energy so that I know that it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the emotional part. And even when it comes to like him, like even when it comes to when we were working together or when we were in a piece together, like a faculty piece, I would sit in the audience and be like, yo, like you were not twirling that step. Or he would sit in the audience like, yo, your leg was not up, or you could turn that out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Or they're out dancing.
And it's not even
like it's just out of love.
And it's not even like, it was never like a place of like judgment. It was always a place of like, I know that you can do better. And
always
the stuff that you produce when you're not on stage, because you know how when you're the background person, it's probably easier to produce things more because you're not up in frontal. And he was like, well, the stuff that you produce when you are when you're behind the scenes needs to be the same thing that you expect out of your own dancers as a choreographer. Because I'm asking my dancers to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I can't just get up there and just
not twirl.
You get what I'm saying?
It's not an option.
So yeah, like I think that's the emotional part for me. And it does it gets really frustrating. Like because sometimes he's like, Steven, I just had a long day. Because I'll be at work like Malcolm, what do you think about the lighting or
And
the
I'm at
costume? I'm sending pictures. I'm sending stuff off. Like,
he's asking
and
questions.
then we get home
Mm-hmm.
and it's 8:00 at night, and I'm like,
So
yo,
you
like,
didn't
so
do that.
what do you think about this music cue?
Yeah.
And
And-
he's like,
and I don't
"Can
mean,
eat?
yeah, and I don't,
Right,
and Malcolm's
but-
like, can I eat? Like, I just had a long day. I had a stressful day. Like, and I don't,
Can
I
we-
had
don't-
rehearsals of my own. I
yeah,
had
I
this,
don't
had
mean to be
that.
like that.
So
You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
Can we just hold hands for just a second?
Right.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
but like just this real quick.
And it's not even that. Like, I don't mean to like be like that person that's always like boom, 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 boom.
No, but I think
But
in
at the
most
same
relationships,
time-
there's a person that is like that, and if you
Yeah.
go back and listen to the episodes, guys, you'll see you'll see, especially when you guys talk, you'll see the person.
Yeah,
you can,
like,
you can hear it.
I'm
you can
always
see it.
like loud.
Yeah, and then
like,
they're the person, and this I really do feel like this is in every relationship. There's a person that's on 10, and there's the person that like, yo, I'm just trying to catch up. I don't even know what number I'm on, but I'm just trying to like, I'm really just trying to be
Yo.
wherever you need me to be right
yeah,
now.
Right.
mhm.
So no, I don't think there's anything bad about it. I just really think I think that's like natural at this point.
I think it's natural.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely alternates because there's moments where I'm like, listen, I want to do this. I want to get into this company. I want to do that. I want to do this. And he's like, okay, well, this is what I think. And like we are always supporting
Yeah.
whatever the other's doing. And we have meetings. We literally say, when are you free this
Oh.
week?
Yeah, we have meetings. Like, we have monthly meetings
We
just to figure
discuss-
out our goals.
Yeah.
Like,
In
that's
detail.
what really got me through 2018. We would go to Wonder Bagel, which is right down the street, and we would like sit there, not as like, oh, we're about to be romantic. Like, no. What are your goals?
What are you thinking?
Because
And-
I don't want to be with you if you don't have no goals.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to do that's just gonna
Hashtag
make
goals.
Goals.
Yeah, and I feel like it's easier to get your goal. It's easier to go after your goals. Yeah, just not only because you know what you want, but also because you have somebody on that ass. Like,
Right.
you know,
But
like
really though, accountability.
Accountability.
Is a huge thing.
you said you wanted to
Absolutely.
do this, and you're not
You're
doing
not
I
doing
that.
have not seen
and
any of that.
and when you see
So-
your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever making their dreams come true, it's like, damn, that's sexy. Like,
It
you
is.
look at them differently.
Oh my
You get what I'm saying?
gosh.
It's the
Like,
best
you hold them to
motivation
a
ever.
different.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell everybody this. So yes, I shout Emily. Literally, we talked about this last night. I shout Emily out on every episode because she's my girlfriend.
Mhm.
And this is the first relationship I've been where I've worked so closely because shout out to Gibney. We both work at Gibney.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to you, Emily was talking about something to somebody, and it was like hella important. I don't know what she was even talking about. When I say I wanted to make babies with her after this one conversation, I only bring it up because it was one of the first times like, oh my God, you are so sexy because you're capable.
You're so
like
brilliant.
you're so brilliant. Let's make babies
Right,
tonight.
right.
I don't know how it's gonna happen, but we're just gonna
We're just gonna will
Yeah.
it, speak it into existence.
but it just goes back to show you, like, sometimes I think, especially when I was young, I saw a lot of couples, but I didn't see couples cheer each other on in such a way where they were like accomplishing things.
Oh.
And so I really didn't know what that satisfaction felt like in a relationship. But when I heard her on that phone, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a different
Teach
level
me
of
something.
it's a different
Yes.
level of respect for that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
not even like, yeah, I'm able to see you as somebody that I am here with, I am going out with, I show you to my family, but at the same time, I'm also able to see you as somebody who is trying to put themselves on and somebody who
Yeah.
is trying to do better for themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that
Almost
part
like, how
to
can
me,
I add to what you're already doing?
yeah, it's like,
Exactly.
how can I make, and that's how Malcolm made, honestly, that's how his company came about. Like, I was like, we were talking about the website. We were
Uh-huh.
talking about the website and everything like that. And I was just really trying to, at the time, I think he was injured. He just
Yeah.
got injured and he was like
Yeah, I was
literally
out for a
injured.
minute.
Like, he couldn't dance or
Damn.
anything like
Could
that
barely walk.
for a while.
Mhm.
And I was like, you need to make your own media company. I said, this is the time to make your own media company. You need to make some money. You need to see dance on media. You need to create it
Damn.
so that
Yeah, because I
You
was
have a
already doing
platform.
it. I was already
Yeah.
doing it, but I didn't think to like
he was doing it for
make-
me or
yeah,
for
I didn't-
him.
or just
Yeah.
if someone asked me. But I wasn't making it my life's
Yeah.
work. And when he said that, I was like, oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
And then
especially at a time where I wonder if you were actually just really needing support. And
I really
and he
need the
was
support.
working from home, and I was like, yo, like this is the time where you need to make websites for people. You need to put yourself on, not by being like, you don't have to visually be there to put yourself on. The fact that you're doing a website for Antonio Brown, for Intrinsic,
for
like
Intrinsic
for all these
Movement,
different
or,
like
Yeah.
high tech,
for
like
high tech high school.
Like
Shout out to high
use-
tech.
It's like-
I teach there.
it's just like, you know,
yeah.
But yeah, you use this time rather than
sit on
allow
your
this
ass.
or allow this time to maybe put you in a space that you don't really want to be.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like anxiety
It
or
really
depression or
pulled me
whatever.
Yeah,
out
just
of
like,
discouraged.
my shit. It did.
Yeah, and we all know what it's like to be injured or to feel like in some ways you're not competent,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but not by your fault or anything based
Right,
on you.
it
Just kind of just
wasn't.
really just about like how circumstances happen, and so also too just like how the partnership could serve as like a then use that moment to be a jumping moment rather than like a falling back moment.
Right, because it easily could have been.
Yeah.
Because I was still like, my social media actually exploded while I was injured.
Right.
I was posting all these throwbacks and making websites and making videos. And we were, he did a piece at Smush Gallery in Jersey City. And like we did a video and a score. We did this whole thing as I was like just healing.
Yeah, just healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My injury. And so it was great. And I made up like it was just a beautiful opportunity.
just so that the
Yeah.
mind can keep flowing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
made
because
great use of the time.
nobody wants to see their person feeling
Just sitting
down.
there.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even just, and yes, like laziness is a thing, but also like nobody wants to see their person feeling not themselves.
Right.
Or feeling like they don't have anything to contribute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also like,
It was a low moment.
yeah, but for him to see like, damn, you always have something to contribute.
Mhm.
You just gotta make sure that you use this time to contribute in this way. Like maybe you can't contribute in the other way. And I just think that speaks to just one of the reasons, like again, why I wanted to do this, because I've said this a million times. I'm gonna keep saying it. I think as dancers, as artists, you get this like you get your chest out about being the best that you can be by yourself. And yes, teachers are great and mentors are great, but you can receive that. But when it's a partner so close to you, sometimes you don't want that person to see your vulnerable moments. That
Yeah.
You don't want them to see you in your times where you don't feel competent. And I just think that's such a testament to you allowed him to see that moment of yours. And like,
Oh
it
yeah,
literally,
so you allowed me to see it, honey.
And it literally like
Yeah, that was
catapulted
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
into something that's like beyond beautiful. Like
Mm-hmm.
and I just think that because I love love, and I really do think that that's like a tree that your love, like your love grew that tree
Mm-hmm.
because of just all of the things that you'd sown into. But that does give me to my next point. So how do you guys maintain a certain self frequency or self how do you maintain yourself
Our individual
your
selves.
individual selves as you work so closely together?
Well, that's a really great question. I feel like we dance for all these different people.
Yeah.
We work with different artists. We have different circles of friends. We go out separately. We do a lot of things together, but we try to maintain like I like anime. He can't stand that.
I can't stand anime.
Like, we like a lot of different things, and we try to maintain those interests separately. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not like, oh, every day, oh my God, let's hang out, let's watch a movie. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to take a shower and then I'll catch up with you later. Like, you have to set kind of boundaries.
Yeah.
You must set boundaries because you can easily morph into this like one person, like
Yeah.
I need you, codependent, like
Yeah.
unhealthy thing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's good to have, you miss the person.
Yeah.
And
Absence
then
makes the heart grow fond.
It really does. And then also just working, I love working with other, because we work really well together, but too much of anything is bad.
Yeah.
So I like to work with other artists that have completely different points of view, completely
Yeah.
different ideas, and that push me. And then I can come back and say, hey, let me share something with you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I never thought of
Never
that.
even thought of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just constantly being stimulated by new ideas on your own,
Yeah.
reading and watching things on your own,
Yeah.
feeding your spirit.
Yeah.
And then coming to them like, hey, like, let me show you this new TV show or this new company that I think you might be great for.
Yeah.
So it kind of like feeds into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me right now, that's a great question. I was like,
Right? It's a really good question. I was like,
for me right now, that's something that like it's always up and down for me because, you know, there's moments where you're going through something really deep, like you're going through something that's really, really internal that you don't want to not be around that person for a long period of time.
Because you might go crazy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you might slip.
Yeah.
Cut that. I'm just playing. But like,
But really though, because you be
hit 'em with a frying pan.
yeah. So
yeah, I'm angry.
I like
sometimes.
for me that's like really crazy. Like, and before then, it wasn't until like I started to reach like out to my friends more.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends, she just moved to Jersey City like a couple of months ago, like I think in September, and we was friends in high school through college. We've been friends for almost 12 years.
Damn.
And she went to PA, Penn State, and then when we went to college, we separated.
Yeah.
So then like she graduated and she moved to Jersey City.
Yeah.
And now it's just like I can breathe.
Yeah.
Not saying that I couldn't breathe before she wasn't there, but I just felt like I just felt like when I got out of college, I was going through a lot, like the transition.
Guys, if
so
you
I
listen to this and you are like just graduated or about to graduate, graduation is just not the perfect time.
No,
I think it's like the least perfect time, and I wish people would just be honest about that.
Yeah,
up front. Like, yes, you're graduating and great, but you're about to suck for a bit.
Yeah. Your heart's
like,
gonna be just on the table.
Literally, because it's just you're literally reacclimating yourself into a world that you haven't been in since you were 18.
Right.
Yeah, and like when I graduated, he graduated in 2015, and I graduated in 2016. So I didn't. He would come to school and like see me, and I would come see him and stuff like that. And it just felt like he would explain these stories to me, and I would just be like, "Why don't you just do this? Or why don't you just do that?"
Yeah,
and like when I graduated, it was really different because he stayed with his parents. He lived in Jersey City.
Yeah.
I lived in DC, so I didn't have no family up here. So it was like, okay, all you have is your car and your bags.
Yes.
And like I had 2 days to find an apartment to stay here.
Yeah.
And so the first year of graduation, I went through a lot of like changes, which as far as like my friends, because I was really close to my high school friends back in DC.
Yeah.
Like we were like a group, like, you know, group text down. Like, and now like and now,
you're like, where my friends at?
Yeah, exactly. And now, when I graduated, I like you go through that anxiety, depression, feeling like I need someone, feeling like I don't need someone, feeling like I'm fierce, feeling like I suck. Like you go through,
and it's such an extreme way because I feel like you don't have that college bubble to kind of hold you.
Yeah,
you're just kind of basically trying to find your equilibrium. Yes.
So I feel like I would go through stages where I'm like, Malcolm, I want you here. Malcolm, you're really getting on my nerves. Malcolm, can you do this for me, Malcolm? No, I got it for myself. Thanks. Like, I went through like a lot of like those like ups and downs, you know. And I still like some days be like, yo, can you come here? And then like,
yes,
give me 1 second because I'm trying to get my money situation together right now. So I'm gonna hit you later because I need to pay this bill. Like, so yeah, it really is like a whirlwind, and I kind of like that because I feel as though I'm a Cancer. So if you know anything about Cancers, we're
and
really
I'm a Cancer moon.
Yeah, we're really moody in a sense where
makes sense now.
Yes. We're moody in a sense where we can be in Mars one day, and we can be in Africa. We can be like we're like jumping the map.
Yes.
In less than 5 seconds.
I jumped the map.
I will admit it. I don't normally admit that Cancers are crazy, but we will.
I don't think that that's crazy. I just want to, because I really don't like the word crazy. I think it's difficult to deal with if that's not your norm. Mm-hmm. But for somebody like me, that is how I am. And I take certain precautions to make sure that the people who deal with it are well equipped.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That is all. So if you're a Cancer out there listening, you're not crazy.
You're not.
You just need to be mindful of who your circle is so that they are ready
Right.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
and able.
And seatbelt is on.
And I think he like he has kind of adjusted to me being like a little he's adjusted to me
Uncensored
being
sometimes.
like uncensored sometimes like a lot of times sometimes he's adjusted to that, which has made me adjust to the things that like he can't do for himself.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
like things that I feel as though like, yo, like, do you need help?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like he helps me a lot. So I always be like, do you need help? Like,
Yeah.
like, so I feel like it's when it comes to like having that space, I feel like, yeah, I do get my space. I do go out. I'm in like, if you know me, you know, I'm like a free spirited person. I would do probably almost anything with you, try any, you know, but, at the same time, I still am like, yo, can you come like give me a hug or like can you make me dinner? Like, yeah,
Needs.
so
It also sounds like you guys have been able to communicate in such a way that your needs can be heard. Both like when you're really, really great at communicating them, and then when you're like not great at communicating them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think that takes time, but I also think that it's super possible.
No, but yeah.
If you want to understand them, you will figure out a way to communicate.
Yeah, and if you just shout out to everybody out there, if you don't want to understand them, don't.
Then don't.
Yeah, don't waste time.
Don't,
Yeah.
and also don't waste anybody's time. Like, don't waste your own, but also don't waste that other person's. I guess, and I say that because I was really, really self-conscious about doing a whole month of couples episodes because I know that everybody's not dating. I also know that everybody doesn't want to date. I also know that some people are happily single, and I guess I worried that if I did 4 episodes with all couples, they would be like, this nigga always into love and all. And it's also like Black History Month. You couldn't do nothing else. You ain't had nothing else you wanted to talk about.
But Black love is relevant.
Well, in that, and like as you guys see the couples, you'll see that like I ran the gamut. We got same sex, we got hetero, we got, I guess you could say, non-gender conforming. I'm gonna also do an episode with Emily, which is a whole nother thing. So like we are really like, I'm trying to do the gamut. But I also think like love is relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
And whether you're with a person or not, I want to say, speak to my personal experience, and I think I've said this a few times. I always want to put the stories that I need or that I would learn from closest to me. Because like growing up, maybe I didn't see couples that worked together to push each other and compliment each other. But like, then so what do? Like if I want that to be my reality, I bring those couples closer to me. Or if I want people to believe in love, I create something that like gives them the opportunity to say, well, they love each other and they do this. I always want to give people examples of the thing that they want to see. And like, I love, y'all, I could go on, but I'm not going to. I love fucking PDA. Sorry, Mama, if you listen to it, I said a bad word. But I love PDA. I love PDA. It could be really extreme. Well, I don't like sex in public, but as long as I don't see, I'm actually really cool with it. I love stories about sex in public. I love hand holding. And I also really, really love just, stories of love. Like stories of real, I had an injury. Babe, this is how you make your injury work for you. Like, because how many times do you really just, I can swipe 1,000,000 times on Instagram and I swear to you, I don't see it enough. Also, let me be really, really clear, because that just made me think of something. We're going to take a slight tangent. I don't know if you guys know about this list, this page, Black Couples, Black Love, Black something. They're an ad on Instagram, but they had no same-sex couples. I just want to say that I think you're great and I think love is great, but like love includes same-sex couples.
Just saying.
Just saying. Or better yet, let me like make that super inclusive. Love includes more than heterosexual couples.
Right. Yeah, it does.
So like, and we got enough people of
Update
color
that.
in this world. So just like reach out to us.
Let us
We know some people.
We can
help you out.
We can do
That'd
that.
be cute.
So y'all really, you touched on so much.
You ask great questions.
Thank you. So I think I do want to ask this question because I haven't asked anybody else this question. And we're getting so close to Valentine's Day, so the love is literally oozing out of my heart. What's the best part of being with each other?
Oh, my God.
The absolute, like, best, like, I'd give up ice cream just to have this thing about this person.
For me, I think Steven's always been, like, since we met, definitely my best friend. And I feel like I wouldn't trade that for anything. I would not trade his smile for anything. I wouldn't trade, like, just the goofiness that nobody knows about. That is Steven. Because he works extremely hard, but the opposite end, he's extremely silly and ridiculous and, like, annoying to the point of being annoying. Like, I'm tired or I'm stressed and I'm, like, pouting and he's like just doing this whole scene. And that alone it just warms my heart because it just makes me feel like he's always trying to make me laugh. He's always trying to make me smile. He's always like trying to tickle me. He knows I hate that. I hate to be tickled, but he'll be like, tickle. Like he just does like little kid dumb shit with me and reminds me to have fun. Yeah. And what we do sometimes can easily be too serious and too heavy and too much. Yeah. You know, like, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to achieve that? And he always reminds me, let's go out. Fuck this for today. Yeah. I don't want to talk about dance. Yeah. I don't want to talk about anything serious. I want to laugh and live my life with you. Yeah. So I've never met nobody like that before. So for me,
that's the best part.
The uniqueness of it. I love that.
Steven?
For me, it's the communication.
Yeah.
I feel like that communicating that you want this to happen. Yeah. Like you want to continue this flow of like, are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because once somebody checks out, that's when things just don't click.
Right. Well, because they checked out.
And I feel as though that sometimes people don't communicate when they are checking out.
Yeah.
And I think that we've never got to that. I mean, we haven't gotten to that point in a sense where I'm just like, so what do you want to do? You know, like, what do you want to do? And it's never an answer where I don't want to be with you. You know, it's just like, well, what do you want to do? How are we going to fix this? Mm-hmm. Because and then also it's the I can't be with somebody who downgrades my what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like it's never like, well, you can't do that because this is like, well, damn. How are we going to make this happen? What the hell do we have to do to make this? We got to rob a bank? Like,
if you guys rob a bank together,
I'm just playing. But I'm saying, like, what do you have to do to make these pieces happen? And, like, it's never like, that's not possible. He never hits me with a babe, that's not possible. He probably hits me with, well, that can happen in a couple of years, or that can happen now, or you got to talk to this person, or you should intern or volunteer or do this. It's never like, well, that's too big of a goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a really like space thinker.
Yes.
And I'm not just like, well, let's do this show. I'm like, no, we need a stage manager, lighting designer. We need somebody to come in and put a prop set on stage, and it needs to be crystals in the sky. We need to make this shit look like a galaxy. Like this needs to be Mars, like in this theater. Like I'm like, I'm like, you know,
a visionary.
Yeah. So like, it's never, and that was one of the biggest things that I even look for in my friends. I don't like somebody who's going to be like, we are in these walls.
Yeah. And
I don't feel like that even in the relationship. Like, even when I'm like, you know, let's go to Philly, or, you know, let's try Squid, or like, let's go here. Cause I'll be like, you know, let's go rock climbing.
Yeah.
Like, it's never like, let's go hiking. Let's go skinny dipping. It's never like, no. It's like,
really?
It's like you want to do what?
But I think that's so great because all of the couples that I've talked to, shout out to Hollis and Natty, shout out to Camry and Dubois, and they're married, which also too, side note, some of the couples that you guys can see, some of the couples are not married and some of them are. I don't really care. I just think about the couple and their chemistry and think it works for the thing. But in Camry and Dubois' episode, it was like there was this feeling of like limitlessness. And then in Natty and Hollis's episode, it was like Natty is over here with Steven, and Hollis is like with you, Malcolm. Like, I'm gonna just grab some coffee, and I'm gonna be right back. But I got you. I hear you. You're valid. Your dreams are great. I just need to get a cup of coffee. But I love that there's always this person that's like, oh my gosh, we're going to places we've never seen before. And the other person's like, yeah, we are. I just got to do some paperwork. So just let me know.
Right. Let me know so I can file the right motion.
Basically, like, I'm with you wherever you want to go. You just let me know. I'm strapped in.
Right. We're here.
I'm here for it.
That's it.
And I don't know. And I just think that that's super. And that's not something I planned. That's not something that I was looking for.
It was meant.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Go for it.
I feel as though that really like captivated me is that like when somebody can keep you calm.
Yes.
Because I know that sometimes it's really hard. Like I get really nervous. I get like really worked up. I'm like,
yeah.
Like I need to like bring it down. Like, and when somebody can like keep you calm, that to me says a lot because where we are right now in the world, you have to have some type of sanity and some type of calmness within everything that you do because there's so many people out there are not looking for the positive.
Yeah.
And that was something that I needed in my life, something that, and not even, and even because I never thought that I would be dating a dancer.
Yeah.
You know, I always knew that I wanted.
Yeah, we've
I always
have.
I always knew I wanted to date an artist, but I never thought I wanted to create somebody who's doing the same thing as me.
Yeah.
And within this dance world, especially being a Black artist, I feel as though I really needed somebody who could keep me calm and check me.
Yeah.
Like keep me calm and say no, that wasn't okay.
Right.
And be blunt with me because I feel like I'm a real person. So I really needed somebody who was going to be
as real with
me and say that Stephen, that wasn't okay, or say that Stephen, that wasn't right, or just say like,
or you did
what are we gonna
thing.
or you know,
then have your back in such a way that you always feel supported when you're right and when you're wrong.
Yeah. So that was
right.
I think that's something that keeps me like going because it's really hard to find those types of people, and it's also really hard to sleep at night like knowing that there's so much stuff happening around you that's building a negative space. You know, so I really just that he like I can be like really mad and he can be like, yo, let's go get some ice cream. I'm like, lit. I need it.
Literally the best idea since now.
Yes.
Right. Let's go.
Since sliced bread, really.
So yeah.
You guys are so awesome.
You
so guys make me so proud of what I dream of, and shout out to Emily for always keeping my dreams.
See?
Yeah.
It works.
Always there. And I can't wait to do that episode. Okay, so before we get up out of here, you got to tell us your plugs. Where can we find you? Make sure you shout out this thing in June because also I want to go. So we can talk about that.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be there.
Yes, I want to go.
Yeah. Right now I'm choreographing at a couple of high schools. High Tech, County Prep in Newark.
Arts
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, Arts High.
And shout out to the big for always remembering the others.
Yes.
So that's gonna be kind of fun. I'm doing an evening length piece with each school. So it's gonna be like
amazing.
a 10-minute piece at High Tech, Arts High, like 10-minute piece, you know, County Prep. And hopefully those 10-minute pieces can eventually build and make the structure of like an evening length piece.
Yeah.
And then we have the show in June 14th.
June 14th.
It's going to be at County Prep, and it's a black box theater. It's nice, and
Gorgeous
it's not far from Journal Square. Literally, you guys, you can go to Jersey City from 9th Street, 14th Street, World Trade Center, 23rd Street.
Damn.
It's not that far.
It's
like
very easy.
I literally just got to Brick in Brooklyn from Jersey City in 30 minutes.
Right.
Damn.
We're closer
So-
than some people in Brooklyn. to-
So yeah,
but really though,
so
but really though, because I've lived.
and just to break
lived far.
down,
right.
just to break down what the lab is, like the lab is an experimental place for dancers to bring whatever type of dance that they want into the space. I wanted to feel as though that they're able to create and be as open as possible. I feel as though sometimes when you apply for dance choreography applications, it's really political.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I really want, if you're a drag queen, if you are whatever you want to bring into this space, it's for you. Like, so the lab is really an experimental space. If you want to play with the audience, if you want to play with media, like projections, whatever, that's what the lab is.
Yo, I might come through.
And it's not,
You better.
it's not even,
No, I'm talking like I may submit something, you know.
Yeah. So
you and everybody.
yeah,
That's what we're trying to build.
and I'm really just trying to bring the arts to Jersey City. There's a lot of other artists that live in Jersey City that's already doing that. I'm just trying to get on that train so we can all like
level it up.
level it up.
Here we go.
And with that being said, my Instagram is Stevie Vision, Stevie.Vision, STEVIE.VISION,
Very nice.
Vision on Instagram. And you can find me on Facebook at Stephen Galbraith. And my website is thelab.stephengalbraith@wix.com.
Hey now.
Hey. Okay. So I have two handles. So me as a dancer is just at Malcolmism. MALCOLMIZM, like Erykah Baduism.
Yes, I'm
Get
here
into
for
it.
it.
Badu.
Okay. And then Malcolmatum, like I mentioned before, is my media company. So if you need a website, a reel, a video edit, audio edit, whatever. If you just don't know, like, hey, I have this idea, ask me. I might be able to do it for you. I'll hook you up.
Logos
Whatever.
at a discounted price.
At a discounted artist rate, because I
yes.
understand and I really want us all to elevate and have great work. Just because you don't have $1 million doesn't mean you can't have $1 million thing. You know?
Yeah.
And so we're very much affiliated with the lab, obviously. So follow Malcolmism or Malcolm Adem. It's MALCOLMAIDEM. That's media backwards.
You
if
like
you want
that,
to be
don't
cute.
you?
It's cute, right? Malcolm Adem. Hi, ho, ho. So yeah, we're doing stuff. Oh, and I also, I also teach and do a lot of dancing as well. But you know, creating is the media stuff for sure.
Okay. Well, guys, I won't keep you. Always remember to make it breathe and make it live, but you just gotta make it. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having us.